Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another movie review. I just finished watching Cherry, the latest from the Russo brothers and starring Tom Holland. Um, and I am going to do my review of the film. I took a bunch of notes while watching the film. And, um, okay, so let's set up what the movie is about. So Cherry is about a. Yeah, let me. I think you can kind of tell how I feel about it because I don't even know the character's name. What was the character? Oh, it was Cherry. Or did they never give him a name? Is he like his name is Cherry, right? Yes. Okay. It is. It is Cherry. Okay. Um, so a character named Cherry goes through a whirlwind of events as he embarks with a young love with this girl, and then eventually goes into the military, develops PTSD, and then becomes a druggie, and all this sorts of stuff. So it's basically a whirlwind of events, and through the life of this man named Cherry. Now, I saw the trailer for Cherry, and I think if you guys saw that video, you guys would know that I was pretty disappointed by that trailer. I thought it was complete style over substance, and I was very worried that the film was going to be that. And unfortunately, the film is exactly as advertised. It is complete style over substance. There is so much fucking style over here to the point where that it's like overwhelming. Now, let's start off with the things that were good about the film. Um, I am not the biggest Tom Holland fan. I mean, I know a lot of like people my generation love Tom Holland just because it's him as Spider-Man. I really enjoyed him as Spider-Man, but I was wanting to see what he could deliver with a film like Cherry, where he gets to deliver a lot of range, and I wanted to see how he would deliver in those regards. And surprisingly enough, the best thing about Cherry is Tom Holland. Tom Holland is quite good in the film. I actually would say he delivered some very solid work in the movie. Um, I'll go even a step further. I think that this is his best role yet. I think that he shows quite some good range. I think that he um, brought it in turn, especially when he was a druggie. I really liked his parts when he was a druggie. He delivered a lot of range in those particular times of that character's life. But I'll also say that I think that the cinematography is interesting. I wouldn't say it's great, but I was noticing some of the colors were popping on the screen, and I would say that fairly so that the cinematography was good. Um, Beyond that, though, there's a lot of issues with this movie. As I established at the beginning, it is completely stylized to the point that it is overwhelming. Um, like seriously, it becomes almost anxious. Like you kind of become anxious at a certain point because of how much style that the film is producing, and it becomes wildly frustrating as a result. Um, there are times where that style does work. For instance, there is this war scene that I would say that the style kind of works in that regard. And the third act, I would say, is a little bit more consistent, yet it is still overwhelming in style. But I just think that the Russos completely missed the mark when it came to development because the development here feels extremely hollow, rushed, and a bit muddled. The idea of young love, I mean, because that's pretty much what the film's about. It's a love story at its heart. I just don't think it rings well here. And there are certain things about Cherry, the character Cherry, that I found to be laughable. Stuff that I just don't quite understand from a script, from a story standpoint. Like, there's a point where I go, how do you not know you're that? How do you not know that? I don't think I'm going to spoil anything when I say that this character is colorblind. It's not a huge factor. It's like a throwaway thing. But somehow, some way, he doesn't know for the past, like, I don't know, 18 or 19 years that he was colorblind. I don't know how you don't know that about yourself. But anyways, um, I also think that the Russos have shown me in this film that they're not looking to change up their style because even though it is completely stylized, there is still a formula that the Russos have produced throughout their MCU films that is also translated to this film. And I was really hoping that this film would steer away from those elements, but instead this film invites those elements, and I don't like that about Cherry at all. I also don't like the way it was helmed. I was as getting into the Russo brothers. I don't like a lot of the like some of the camera shots just feel pointless to me. A lot of the shots in the film don't feel like that they add much. They just feel like it's more like a montage reel, or it feels like you're just trying to set up this cool looking shot, if you get what I mean. It's just something that looks pretty on camera, but it doesn't hold anything. Again, playing to more of style over substance. Small detail also, I think the audio levels are off. I was wearing my headphones, and just hearing the voiceover and just a lot of the dialogue itself, it just didn't sound correct to me. It felt very, how do I say it? It didn't feel like it was pleasing to the ears. I'll just put it that way. And speaking of that dialogue, it was okay at best. It wasn't great. Um, I was definitely like, it was okay for what they were trying to get across to the viewer. I thought it did okay. Um, but more importantly, I want to talk about their outlook of PTSD and their outlook of the military. Now, I understand that this is from the perspective of Cherry. I understand that, but they are still portraying such things. And I will say this, I think that their outlook of PTSD, the way that they represent PTSD, I found to be quite good. Particularly through Tom Holland. I thought, again, Tom Holland did a very good job here. Um, I thought he is the best part of the movie. Each time he's on screen, I was very pleased with what he was bringing. I just wish that he was in a better film. The way that they represent the military, though, I just didn't really buy it. I just really wasn't buying just the sergeants, the way that they were delivering their lines. It just didn't feel real. And more or less, though, I just think that this was a project that just was emotionally distant, because the whole time you don't feel like you're connected to these characters. You feel like you're connected to some style, but you're not really connected to Cherry or his love interest. I'm not saying you're not caring, but you're not that invested. And I think that is really what the greatest failure of Cherry is that you just don't really care for much. Because the Russos want Cherry to be a wild ride of events, and it is. It's wildly frustrating, especially when all the elements are there, because this is a movie that has potential to be something quite good. I mean, because all the elements are there. They show you throughout the entire film what it could have been, and I just wish that the execution of such vision was done so much better. Because besides some interesting visuals, and Tom Holland's, again, his solid work here. He's very good here, guys. He's very good. Its downfall, sadly, is everything else. It's all style and really little substance. I felt so distant from the development that I was almost overwhelmed by just how much style the Russos decided to throw at the audience. It just becomes, at the end of the day, to be honest, unbearable at times. And I really wish that I didn't feel that way. Also, small thing, for a film that's trying to be this like pompous, energetic type thing, I was thinking to myself, man, I think this if the Russos couldn't direct it, I wish the Safdies directed this, because this feels like a film, tonally speaking, that the Safdies would do. So I kind of wish that the Safdies did this, but the Russos did it, and unfortunately, Tom Holland stuck the landing. Everything else surrounding him, not so much.